Welcome back to our educational series on the impact of Western influence on African economies. In today's episode, we delve into a critical chapter of history that shaped the trajectory of the continent: colonialism and its profound economic consequences in Africa. The colonial era, the 19th century, saw European powers carving up Africa into colonies, exploiting its vast resources and peoples. Colonialism was not just about political control. It was an economic endeavor that brought sweeping changes to the continent. Exploitative trade practices. One of the cornerstones of colonial economic strategy was the exploitation of Africa's resources. Raw materials, including minerals, timber, and agricultural products, were extracted at alarming rates, fueling the Industrial Revolution in Europe. Disruption of traditional economies. Traditional African economies were disrupted as colonizers imposed their economic systems. Indigenous trade routes were replaced by European-controlled networks, undermining local markets and self-sufficiency. Export-oriented economies. Colonies were often turned into monocrop economies, producing goods solely for export to the colonizers' markets. This made these nations susceptible to global market fluctuations, resulting in economic instability. European powers focused on developing infrastructure that primarily served their economic interests, such as railways connecting resource-rich areas to ports for export. This often neglected the needs of local communities. Labor exploitation. Another disturbing aspect was the exploitation of African labor. Forced labor and indentured servitude were rampant, as Africans were coerced into working on plantations, mines, and construction projects. Legacy of dependency. Perhaps the most lasting consequence of colonialism was the creation of economies designed to benefit colonial powers. Africa became dependent on the global market for finished goods, perpetuating economic inequality. Unequal wealth distribution. The wealth extracted from Africa was not reinvested in the colonies. Instead, it flowed back to Europe, leaving African economies impoverished and unequal in terms of income and development. Struggle for economic recovery. After gaining independence, many African nations struggled to overcome the economic scars of colonialism. Debt, underdevelopment, and lack of infrastructure hindered progress. Conclusion. The legacy of colonialism continues to reverberate in Africa's economic landscape. While it's important to acknowledge the challenges brought about by this history, it's equally crucial to explore ways in which Africa can harness its resources and potential to foster a more equitable and self-sustaining future. Thank you for joining us on this insightful journey into the economic consequences of colonialism in Africa. Stay tuned for more episodes in our series, as we delve deeper into the factors shaping the continent's economies. African leaders must wake up to see what is playing out there.